us money we don't owe you. In fact, the money is in here. It's not, So that's the method of China. The Europeans that had a European Union are not a solid block anymore. The U.S. always wanted to break it up because it was always challenging. The euro was always a challenge for the dollar. Okay. If you listen to the news about the truck drivers and the supplies in Europe and England and all that, those people did what we told the white man to do here. Take your gun out of your head and shoot yourself in the head. Brexit? Suicide. Now they ain't got no drivers. They ain't got this. Listen to the news. They don't have no, hey man. And they with boss man. And everybody mad at boss man, everybody laughing at boss man. The British should have went with the French and the Germans and stayed in that thing that they had. Instead of listening to boss man to get them to weaken them, they ain't weakening them now, right? And who they mad at? They mad at boss man. Everybody is mad at boss man. Everybody. He's double-crossed everybody. If you double-cross the French, see, the French and the Germans as homies, they fought 3 wars, so they kind of just started liking each other or something. No, of course the Germans won all the time, so that might have something to do with it. No, that's 1871, 1914, and Hitler flew over the Maginot Line. The French say, you ain't going to do this to us no more. They built the Maginot Line. Boy, that was a serious line. Tunnels, big weapons, pillboxes, and the Germans just went around it. And then it went around it that way and then flew over it with paratroopers. And they captured France in 3 weeks. Boy, that was humiliating. I'm telling you, boy, hey, man, they were sad. They should be sad. So the French and the Germans are always friends on economy now. You studied the record. And now boss man and double-cross one of them in front of everybody. He's not doing very well. And not only that, his record, South America, forget it. All of that. Now us, we are right here, and we have never changed or altered no matter how bad it looked to everybody else, to us. We've never batted an eye. So you don't have to worry about, as this war continues, the prestige of whoever they are, because the record speaks for itself. You don't have to look for it. It'll all come through in ways that anything that happened to us here as a consequence. One of the speakers, he used to be over here, he was on a program in Tehran. At least I was here, he was there. He said, we're over here and saying this. Imam Musa is inside of the United States, because he'd been here for years. He said, this was a few years ago, he said, Imam Musa is inside of the United States, saying that. What the heck? This is where we belong. We ain't running off. Why would we run off? We got boss man on the run. Okay, let me go through a few more things. Okay, so we got boss man on the run. Good God Almighty, we got here that boss man's eyes is puffed up. Boss man is behind on points. That's what we have. This is a fact. His eyes is puffed up, his lips are swole. Good God Almighty. Tell the truth. So if your eyes puffed up, you can't see. Too many headshots. You can't see. And that's the way it is. It's not only us. See, it's everybody. He thought he was just doing this to us. Now imagine you got people that's bad as you are. You know, okay. And you might be on the front line out there, but they back there in the back, they might be looking out for you. They just might be looking out. Somebody is looking out for us all of this time. And don't say nobody knows about it. Deutsche Welle has been here. The Russian press has been here. The Japanese press has been here. Everybody but the Chinese. Everybody but the Chinese. And I figured that they didn't come because they didn't want to, we don't know him. I ain't never seen him before. Just because he talk about the Long March, just because he talk about this, Chairman Mao, and all that great history, and the long, I don't know no nigga. And just because Agent 006 is his best friend, he get all his stuff from him, and they be talking about real stuff. That what's a Chinese video seller going to be talking about that stuff about? He shouldn't even know about it. And he's talking about it in detail. And I'm saying, well, why don't you guys just accept the Japanese apology? And they won't do it. They won't do it. Just say, they Nipponese, they can't help it. Stuff like that. You think it don't work like that. Everybody has an intelligence network. Everybody has an intelligence network. The whole world. And all them big folks, you think they ain't got, if they have somebody pop up from the United States, we don't like China, you don't think they have somebody over here or twice as many here that understands what's going on. If they didn't understand exactly what's going on here, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing with timely expertise. Okay, so what we got here is we got boss man. This is what it said. Boss man is behind on points. His eyes is puffed up. He got cut over the eyes. We said, let's see, because if you got cut under the eyes, your eyes puffed up, but if you got cut over the eyes, the blood is dripping into your eye, and you can't see. All right. That's the way we're calling the fight that way. That's the way it is because the whole struggle, if you didn't understand it, you would think that the people involved are delirious. The stuff that Boss Man is doing right now he's delirious. And I'm not saying that I'm feeling sorry for him, but I wish I would have not did it. But he deserves what he has. And if he swallows it right, he may come out of it. So counterattack, strategic assets, China, Russia. I talked about big gold purchases already. Micro movement activities. I did mention strategic assets. Strategic assets are assets that are very important, and they're strategically located already, and they're an asset. It's just that you have to figure out a way to use them. And that's the way we were with Iran and other places when they were at war. Strategic assets is the locality that they're struggling in. They can take oil and everything to Syria, and Syria can put it in trucks and bring it to Lebanon. So they can't stop it because it's not going to Lebanon. It's going to Syria. When they get on Syrian trucks, Syria is right next door. Lebanon is right next door, right? So a certain strategic thing. Yemen is located in a strategic location. The people are starving to death and dying of thirst and everything else because they haven't mobilized that whole coast and coordinated simple blockade running. Okay? So that's our suggestion. Remember, they sometimes they get bogged down and it takes friends that's outside watching the fight. You slide up to the corner and say, hey, tell them to do this. That's what we're doing right now. It's simple, it's as old as history. Blockade running. They used to surround a fort or a city and blockade it, right? And the people that had skill in making tunnels and breaking that blockade, right? They could save the city. The blockade runners can save lives. Just like in Lebanon, it was one ship already there. The other one might be there today or tomorrow. And so it'll be a whole fleet coming in. Winter's getting ready to start. They'll have cooking oil. They won't get cooking off on that, but they'll get it. They'll have oil. They'll have diesel fuel to keep the hospitals running. All of that. They have that now, right? Okay. Blockade running in every situation. Right now, everybody in in Afghanistan is going where? To Iran. They already had millions of Afghan refugees there now. And Iran is sending, like the U.S. used to be the arsenal of democracy, they called it, during World War II. Iran right now is the arsenal of Islam and the Islamic movement. And as soon as I can get over there, that's what I'm going to tell them. Because we got to move a few dummies to the side, the way that they'll be gone in a minute. But we'll find a way to get the message to them publicly. That you are the arsenal of Islam. That's what we call it. That's right, arsenal of Islam. They are. Yeah, Huawei, they let the little girl is gone. Of course. Yeah, that was about it. But remember now, just look at it. Around the world, everything is changing. They're the ones that held up on Iran. So now Iran is using that, if you hold up another 2 weeks, we won't even need that. They got people buying oil. They got more support. And you got to remember that even the crooks, definitely Russia and China is on their side. But you got to remember that when you start double-crossing your home folks, they had the French was helping Iran with that nuclear whatever it was, down in, near Bandar Abbas. The French was helping them build their nuclear stuff down there. And the U.S. told them to leave them alone. And they did. And they said, nah, you didn't go and cut a deal with hey, man. The news tell you how mad the French are, right? Good God Almighty. Huh? Right. Oh, yeah. Good God Almighty, they steaming. I watched it. Hey, man. they foaming at the mouth. When is you going to recall your ambassador from your friend and we don't want to talk to y'all. They ask something, try to talk, hey man, bump y'all, man, that ain't right. They sound like they colored, man, that ain't right. Right? That's what, look, you can't make this stuff up. If you and I were sitting down devising a regular plan of what we wanted, for so-and-so to mess up here, for so-and-so to go ahead here, we couldn't devise the stuff that's happening right now. So this counter response is all a human response. It gets everybody involved. Gets the people involved from the Muslim countries